Hello and welcome to the returning Kaiju Month on Action Theater Presents. Today's feature is from 2013 Pacific Rim. With me is deleted scenes. I want to say hello to some Daniel Berry sports highlights. And we'll get in the synopsis. You made it. You made it.
I am
Deleted.
Yeah, indeed. All right. Good evening, or good afternoon, wherever you may be. Morning, for I know some people who watch our show. Welcome to Action Theater. Back at its regular day and time. Hello to Andrea Black. Kaiju continuing. Today's film is Pacific Rim, directed by Guillermo del Toro, with Charlie Hunnam, Rico Kikuchi, Idris Elba, Ron Perlman, and a host of others who we'll talk about along the way. And it's like I said in in my little blurb advertising that we were going to be on today. It's kaiju versus robots versus Luther.
Yeah.
It's basically what it is. You have a let me boot up the page here so I can do this upright here. All right.
Welcome new member A. Becker to lieutenant level.
Oh,
welcome.
Right on. All right, A. Bricker. Oh, hey, long time no see, A. Bricker. Cool. All right. As a war between humankind and monstrous sea creatures wages on, a former pilot and a trainee are paired up to drive a seemingly obsolete special weapon in a desperate effort to save the world from the apocalypse. It's rated PG-13. Runtime is 2 hours and 11 minutes. And of course, I do want to remind everybody, with most of these shows, the feature that we are going to be discussing today is not currently public domain. And hello to Miss Severus. As much as we would like to enjoy showing the movie to you, we are unable to do so due to YouTube's copyright limitations here in the U.S. Other places of the world, if we were in India or if we were in certain places in Europe, there would be no issue because it's different rules. However, Bill and I are in the good old US of A, and there are some different rules. So what you would need to do in order to follow along with us while watching the film, you would have to join us on Cosme. The link to the Cosme room is at the top of both the chats. You can also use your own physical copy, which is something that we encourage here, having your own physical copy. But failing that, most of the movies that we show here can be found on Fandango at home. A lot of them can be found on Tubi. And also, I'm pretty sure Amazon probably has this. They have a lot.
Tubi or Pluto TV is another good one.
Pluto TV is another one. Yeah. So there are plenty of places to find a film. So just want to.
And it might even be on. It might even be on AMC Plus if you have AMC Plus. Because a lot of good movies are there.
Right on. So think of what Bill and I do here as kind of like a fan commentary on a DVD. That's basically what a lot of these watch parties are. And So those of you who, in the comments say, well, I'm thumbs downing because didn't show the movie. We would love to do so. Everybody who watch party would love to show the actual movie. My advice would be, contact YouTube and tell them to kind of maybe let up or change the guidelines so that we can do these a little bit more. And because hey, we as the YouTube creators, we want this best a viewing experience that we can.
Except for those who have already gotten to the point or just haven't listened further enough to hear this on the replay. That the video won't be there. Yeah, because we have rules to abide by. But anyway, we can't break those rules or we're nothing.
Yeah, well,
they reduce us to the YouTubers say, "Oh, we're going to reduce you to ashes." Boom.
Yeah, well, they'll set a kaiju after us.
Yeah.
So we're trying to avoid that. So, all righty. I say without any further ado, let's get the party started.
All right.
This, of course, is the Fandango at home page. Where, as we discussed, the film is available. Warner Brothers logo.
Legendary.
Get the definition of a kaiju and a Jaeger.
Oh no, they're messing up the home of Starfleet. There'll be no Star Trekking. Oh, wrong. Hail, words and pictures. Our friends from across the pond. Good to see you, buddy. Hmm. Don't get cocky. Huh, I wonder where they stole that from.
Yeah,
Could it be one George Lucas one?
the first of many Star Wars references that this movie
Yeah.
makes. Yeah, he is the same guy from Blacklist, Enigma. Yeah.
Man, they did a great job at the design of the pilot, Kai, the suits.
Well, they can't issue you the suits there, Enigma, because budget cuts.
Gypsy Danger is a badass. What a cool looking design, right? That's one thing that Valencia del Toro does is his monster designs, his creature design, spectacular. Well, there goes his brother. How about a giant robot? Or a little robot? That's a classic vintage toy. What are you complaining about, you little brat?
Robot down.
A wall. A wall's gonna stop kaiju. Come on. A wall might stop immigrants, but does it really? No. Hello, Lady Miss. Welcome. Words and pictures, brother. From Jaeger pilot to welder. He's talking about gypsy danger. That why he's talking about gypsy danger? Because Mach 3 Jaeger is like a nuclear power sub. It is a nuclear powered giant robot. Oh, sorry. Spoiler warnings. Wait, can you spoil a film from 2013? Hong Kong Bay. Uh, you okay there, deleted? Is it-
Yep.
yeah. Okay.
Okay. Oh, hello. Rico Kikuchi, who was Oscar nominated for the movie Babel. This is around the same time. I think it was slightly before this. Mm. Mhm.
Um, But he likes you. Got an elephant trunk thing. Wow, she's being really harsh on the guy.
Oh, dang it. Depends who got a series first. And that's not helping either.
What's not helping?
The nosebleeds. Because the thing to remember, folks, is not just the fact of who is capable of flying one of these things, but what it does to you physically each time. You watched Brainstorm too many times? Also, I'm pretty sure he's still looking for Pepe Sylvia. We have boxes of Pepe, ladies and gentlemen. Boxes. Huh? This version of the Red Shoe Diaries is not what I was expecting.
No.
No, no, no. He's like this all the time. So, to answer the question you're all thinking of right now, yes, this is another movie, Jurassic Park Rebirth, ripped off.
Movie Sin 555, right?
Yeah. Do you? Yeah, give us a few minutes. We're gonna. No.
Thank you, Connie Clary, for a 199 super. You are a rock star amongst rock stars.
Yes, thank you, Connie. Of course, this is her backstory here. Oh, would you like to learn more?
Yes, that falls right along the line of the RoboCop. Would you like to know more?
This guy was in Blade too. You don't think I forgot about you, did you? Whoosh.
Black market kaiju dealer and parts. Ron Perlman.
There you go.
Oh yeah, gorilla layer. Jaeger. NLFKHC 2005, sometimes known as Tim. Our time snap is 1 hour, 16 minutes, 46 seconds.
Thank you for the $2 super chat, Tim. That sounded a little familiar. There we go.
Oh. I like that the kaijus are using things around them as weapons. Take that, gorilla! Big gorilla, the kaiju. Yes, thank you, FKHC 2005, for the $2 super chat.
So how many of these guys got out again?
Oh boy, this one flies.
Oh, well, they fly now.
They fly now. Yeah. They fly now. Such a cool sword. We are now falling to Earth. We are now reburning up in the atmosphere because we're a large giant robot.
And hello to Chando Chagalo. Good to see you, sir.
Don't you hate being right?
What?
Well, he got eaten up. That's why you should never eat a Ron Perlman. You'll choke every time. I killed myself. That's why eating Ron Perlman is bad for your health. You'll choke and die every time. Can you hear me? Okay. I didn't know if I could.
Yeah. Yep. I got you. We go. And at last, the big bad has been given the orders. And I was muted that whole time. Damn it. Okay. No worries.
And that is Pacific Rim. Would you like to consult the scrolls?
Yes, I will. All right. Pacific Rim was released this weekend in 2013. Estimated budget of 190 million, going on to gross 411 million worldwide. Was nominated for the BAFTA for visual effects. Best long form dramatic presentation at the Hugo Awards. Among many others, including nominated for Best Science Fiction film, production design, visual effects editing, and Best Director at the Saturn Awards. Filming locations include Pinewood Toronto Studios, Portlands, Toronto, Ontario, Canada. The Papenburger Myers Shipyard, Lower Saxony, Germany, which is the factory where the Jaegers are built. The Richard L. Hearn Generating Station for 40 Unwin Avenue, Portlands, Toronto, Ontario, Canada, for the Alaska wall construction site. Here's our mid-credit scene.
Yeah.
All right. Other filming locations: Bluffers Park, Brumley Road, Scarborough, Toronto, Ontario, Canada, which filled in for the Alaska exteriors. Elizabeth Street, Toronto, Ontario, Canada, for Mako's childhood memory in Tokyo. All right, on to the trivia. Tom Cruise was considered to play Stacker Pentecost. The first Guillermo del Toro film to feature Ron Perlman as a human character since Kronos. The computer is voiced by Ellen McLean, who also voiced GLaDOS, the AI from Portal in Portal 2. This is, in fact, a cameo by GLaDOS, as Guillermo del Toro was such a fan of the games. He approached the game's developer, Valve, who approved. Del Toro said in an interview for the Toronto Sun, "I wanted very much to have her because I'm a big Portal fan. But just as a wink, she's not cake obsessed." He's not out to destroy humanity, he further explained. Look, there's no AI I'd rather have than GLaDOS, but McClane's voice in the movie, due in theaters July 12th, has been modulated a bit to be less similar to the distinctive tone of Portal's unforgettable antagonist. The filter we're using is slightly less GLaDOS, slightly. The one in the trailer, I wanted to be full on GLaDOS. The GLaDOS voice itself is inspired by the computer in the 13th floor. Travis Beacham, the screenwriter, got the idea for the movie while walking along the California coastline on a foggy morning. The shape of the pier looked like a creature rising from the water, and he imagined a large robot waiting on the shore to battle it. Del Toro was inspired by the anime and tokusatsu of his youth. He specifically cited Tetsujin Ninjago as a major influence. Despite this, he wanted to avoid referencing other works of fiction in the design of the robots and monsters. Kaiju is a Japanese word that literally translates to strange beast. It's usually used to refer to giant monsters from Japanese science fiction films such as Godzilla. A life-size version of the robot cockpit was built on a soundstage at Pinewood Studios in Toronto, Canada. It weighed about 20 tons and stood nearly 4 stories high. It was built on a gigantic hydraulic gimbal, which would move, shake, vibrate, drop, and rock the entire set as if it were actually being piloted. A smaller version was also built with a smaller gimbal, allowing for different movements. The VFX team used some of the con pod footage for reference while animating the robots. The set was also redressed to depict the interior of each robot differently. Gypsy Danger is painted in detail to resemble a World War II fighter plane. There is nose art on its chest. Del Toro drew inspiration from paintings including Francisco Goya's The Colossus and Hakusai's The Great Wave off Kanagawa. This film was sent to movie theaters under the name Still Seas. At around the 85-minute point, when the Gypsy Danger is fighting the second kaiju in Hong Kong, it punches through a building and sets off a set of Newton's balls, or Newton's cradle. The scientist that the kaiju is chasing is named Dr. Newton Geisler. The Jaegers are a staple of Japanese anime, where they're often called mecha. Similar to many mecha anime series, Jaegers are controlled from within by human pilots, distinguishing them from other depictions of robots such as automated, sentient, or externally controlled. At around 55 minutes, a prominent street sign in Hong Kong identifies the intersection of Toll Street and Fong Street. Thomas Toll is the president of Legendary Pictures, who financed the film, and Henry Fong is one of the film's conceptual artists. The small badge on Pentecost's dress uniform is the U.S. Army's Air Assault Badge. According to Travis Beacham, in an earlier version of the script, Mako and Raleigh spoke 2 different languages for a majority of the film. After connecting as pilots, they slowly began to understand one another, and before the end, they heard each other speaking in their own respective languages. The only remnant of a language barrier is when Raleigh speaks to Mako in Japanese, and she's surprised to learn that he knows her home language. And of course, at the end, they dedicate the film to Ray Harryhausen and Ashiro Honda, which is very cool. All right. In the weeks before the film's release, several popular YouTube channels collaborated with the filmmakers to produce a short video titled Pacific Rim Training Day. The short even features a brief cameo by director Del Toro. Collaborating channels included Jesse Cox, Press Hard to Continue, Total Biscuit, Husky Starcraft, Game Grumps, Crab Cat Industries, and a game station. In March 2013, YouTube channel Dumb Drum created a, quote, suited version of Pacific Rim's trailer. Less than 2 weeks later, Del Toro commented on the video at WonderCon 2013, calling it a masterpiece, saying that it inspired him to create the second trailer for the film. He also invited the filmmakers to the Hollywood premiere. When the film was released on video, Legendary Pictures contacted Dumb Drum and asked for their help promoting the release. In October 2013, they released several versions of scenes from the movie. These new videos were made at 15-second intervals for sharing on social media websites. Visual effects supervisor John Nolan, director Guillermo del Toro, spent several weeks discussing the physics of the giant characters and went to very specific details, such as how the air displacement from a Jaeger moving between skyscrapers would shake the building's windows. Though the giant monsters were always intended to be computer generated, all of their designs were expanded from the notion that they would be worn as suits, like in traditional kaiju films. The sound for the kaiju's roars were comprised of layer upon layer of animal roars and growls, which were filtered, sped up, and slowed down to create the roar of alien behemoths. Then, to add emotion and a sense of intelligence, supervising sound editor Scott Martin Gershon and director Del Toro added samples of their own voices. This was both director Del Toro and cinematographer Guillermo Navarro's first experience shooting with digital cameras. Navarro bought 7 Red Epic cameras specifically for the film and used his own lenses, as he prefers shooting with his own camera equipment over renting it. Gypsy Danger is named after the de Havilland Gypsy aircraft engine. It was intended as a nostalgic nod to the World War II era, which was a major influence in the design of the robot. Neil Cross, Patrick Melton, and Marcus Dunstan did some uncredited rewrites of the screenplay. Screenwriter Travis Beacham also wrote the graphic novel Pacific Rim Tales from the Year Zero, released along with the movie. Tales from Year Zero serves as a prologue to the film and is set 12 years before its events. When asked why the pilots yell out to one another despite being telepathically linked, Travis Beacham said that doing so helps them stay focused. Approximately 100 kaijus and 100 Jaegers were designed, but only a fraction of them appeared in the film. Every week, the filmmakers held a vote for their favorites. Otachi's Tale was originally a feature of a completely different kaiju dubbed Meathead, which was cut from the film. Karloff, one of the kaiju from the opening sequence, is named after Boris Karloff. The nickname was given because the creature's head resembles the face of Karloff's mummy character in Mattel. The aircraft carrier transporting the kaiju carcass is the United States Navy's USS John C. Stennis, CVN 74. The hull number 74 is visible on the flight deck's island. The title screen does not appear until 17 minutes into the film. And hungry trailers for the movie couldn't mention the name of the main robot, Gypsy Danger, because it was offensive to the Roma, a large ethnic group in the country. The name is spoken freely in the Hungarian version, but it's left in English. It's a reference to a type of airplane engine, not the people in question. Around 85 minutes, the inside of the building that Gypsy's fist smashes through was created using miniatures. Many of the components of the office cubicles were made using 3D printers. The lighting was practical and done to scale. Once the set was ready, a large screen mandrel was rammed through it, and this was digitally replaced with Gypsy's fist. Director trademark, Guillermo del Toro. Casting. His friend, actor, comedian Santiago Segura is in the cast. He's the guy that I pointed out was also in Blade 2. Max Martini is 14 years older than Robert Kaczynski, who plays his son. Even though the filmmakers stated repeatedly that they did not want to reference any other mecha or kaiju works, they have admitted to accidentally doing so. For example, Jaeger is also the name of one of the mech designs from the Fasa Mecha Commander universe of Inner Sphere faction. Also, the scene with Otachi searching for Newton is very reminiscent of the film War of the Gargantuas, during which a giant monster looks for a main human character who's hiding underground. Taylor Kitsch, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Aaron Paul, Luke Bracey, and Henry Cavill were all considered to play Raleigh. Stellan Skarsgård was considered for the role of Herc Hansen. Ron Perlman and Charlie Hunnam have also shared the screen in Sons of Anarchy and 3-2-1 Frankie Go Boom. The movie is dedicated to the memory of Monster Masters Ray Harryhausen, stop-motion animator for movies such as The Seventh Voyage of Sinbad, and Ishiro Honda, director of Godzilla and many other kaiju features. Honda was born May 7th, 1911. Harryhausen died May 7th, 2013. Two actors who were considered for this movie happened to be in similar movies, Military Personnel versus an Alien Invasion, around the same time. Taylor Kitsch in Battleship and Tom Cruise in The Edge of Tomorrow. The set was built as a non-destroyed Hong Kong, then destroyed and redressed to play a different area post-monster battle. The Hong Kong set was used as 4 different streets and sets, with the placement and dressing of elements changed each time. One of the art directors says this is the first time they dressed the set using forklifts and jackhammers. Much of the set is made with real materials, unlike most sets. The screenplay had 40 pages of suit work, and Legacy constructed 34 suits for the movie. Del Toro and Beecham went through 15 drafts of the script. Drew Pearce did an uncredited rewrite. The character of Mako Mori is much younger than Stecker Pentecost, although in real life, Rinko Kikuchi is only 8 years younger than Idris Elba. Ron Perlman's character, Hannibal Chow, could be named after James Honk's character, Hannibal Chew, from Blade Runner. Guillermo del Toro has named the film as a huge inspiration for him as a director. The film takes place in 2013, 2020, and 2025. Striker Eureka, the white Australian Jaeger, was initially chosen to be the hero Jaeger of the film, but Guillermo del Toro thought its appearance was too cold and arrogant. Ron Perlman kept the shoes he wore in his film. Later on, his wife had them melted down and converted into a pair of heels for herself. Mm-hmm. Probably why he chucked her. Anyway, moving on. Guillermo del Toro did not shoot the film with 3D in mind and was initially opposed to the idea of converting it into the format when the studio suggested it. He agreed only on 4 conditions: that the scale of the kaiju and Jaegers be maintained in 3D without overemphasizing the effect and miniaturizing them, that the conversion be given a generous 40-week schedule to ensure its quality, that the CGI elements are rendered natively in stereo 3D, and that he be allowed to supervise the conversion process. A sequel called Pacific Rim Uprising 2018 was announced in 2017 and will be released 5 years after this film. And the less said about that, the better. Several countries created their own Jaegers, including USA, Canada, Australia, Japan, China, Russia, Singapore, India, the Philippines, Denmark, United Kingdom, Ireland, New Zealand, Malaysia, Jamaica, Mexico, Spain, Peru, Argentina, and Chile. Gottlieb and Newton share the names of mathematicians Sir Isaac Newton and David Gottlieb. In the beginning, before facing the kaiju knife head, Gypsy Danger performs its neural handshake, then afterwards slowly puts her hands together like she's praying with elbows out, except her left hand is closed and the right hand is covering it. This is a centuries-old greeting and salutation in martial arts between peers and combatants, and was a sign of mutual respect. Specifically, Chinese styles such as Wushu, Shaolin, and Wing Chun utilized this salutation. The closed fist represents the preparation to fight, and the act of covering the fist is similar to keeping a sword sheathed until combat. This act is also a sign of discipline and restraint from abusing its power, demonstrating it is no threat and has the peaceful intentions without provocation. Tim says, after you named all those countries, the Spanish Sahara is gone. Yeah. And hello to Curtis Selby.
Hey, Curtis.
Good to see you. All right. The names Alexis and Sasha Kadinovsky look to be an allusion to the name of Russian actor Alexander Kadinovsky, the stalker in Andrei Tarkovsky's movie. Sasha is a small name for Alexander. Cherno Alpha is likely named for Chernobyl, a small town in the Ukraine where a reactor at the nuclear power facility experienced meltdown in April 1986. When Ukraine was part of the Soviet Union, Cherno's head resembles a tall cooling tower, though the reactors at Chernobyl do not have that style of cooling tower. The rolling end credits include a special thanks to other genre directors who presumably inspired Del Toro: James Cameron, David Cronenberg, Alfonso Cuarón, and Alejandro González Iñárritu. This film was actress Clara Wong's debut. Charlie Day's Dr. Newt character talks about the kaijus as having a secondary brain similar to that of dinosaurs. This theory about dinosaurs was taught as late as the 1980s, but has since been debunked by the scientific community. Also, only a few dinosaurs, like the Stegosaurus, were thought to have a secondary brain because their brains were so small in relation to their bodies. Most of the kaiju in this film had large heads, so that hypothesis doesn't translate for multiple reasons. Del Toro is a fan of It's So Sunny in Philadelphia, and he offered Charlie Day to role in this movie for a cameo on the show. He appeared as Pappy McPoyle in the Maureen Ponderosa Wedding Massacre and McPoyle versus Ponderosa, the trial of the century. The basic idea of this movie: giant monsters rising from the sea and giant mechas defending against them, is oddly similar to the Powerpuff Girls Season 1 episode, Dynamo, where a giant monster rises from the Townsville Pond and Professor Utonium builds a giant mecha to defend against it. The basic idea of this movie, giant monsters attacking and giant mechas defending against, is also oddly similar to the reboot 1995 Season 2 episode Nozilla, where a giant monster created from Knowles and Fong uses a giant mecha with inspiration from the Thunderbirds and Voltron. Okay. Each monster design and progress got a pet name, something that aided the characters in seeing the creatures as actual characters. According to Davis, it was just a way of giving the kaiju a quick identity if we needed to reference it or find a design. The creatures, in fact, had to be actors, quote unquote, and as such, able to display a range of emotions. If you see a lion in repose, Del Toro said, the lion looks majestic, noble, beautiful. But if that lion is on top of you and about to bite you, he looks like that. Not pleasant at all. And yet, it is the same animal. Homaging to Japanese cult films, every monster has to be designed as if it had to be performed by a man in a suit. One of the rules I gave to the kaiju designers, Del Toro said in featurette, is that I wanted to think how a man in a suit would fit in there. The kaiju are trying to honor the spirit and feeling of the classical kaiju. We were keeping them mostly two-legged, not humanoid, but sort of with a silhouette that reminds you of those classical ones. All right, some of these get very long, so I'll just read one or two more off and call it an evening. When Little Mako's in the alleyway, every object on the set was rigged to the same hydraulic system. Whenever the giant monster was to take a step, everything bounced or shook in unison, including the puddles. When Mako falls into her memory of being attacked as a little girl, the transition from the cockpit of the Jaeger to the Japanese street was all done on set. The 1 minute explosion countdown actually takes 1 minute to set off in the movie. During a Nerd HQ panel in 2013, Robert Kaczynski talks about the fight scene between Chuck and Raleigh in the hallway and how Charlie Hunnam broke his nose during that sequence. Kaczynski says the shot where Hunnam broke his nose remained in the film. But he also proudly states that he kept standing after it happened. All right. I'll cut it off there because, like I said, some of the rest of it is quite lengthy. So I'm going to kind of cut it off there.
All right.
All right.
So that is Pacific Rim. We have an extra dose. Godzilla 1998 coming up this Saturday. And we'll be back for Western cinema. I'm going to do a City Slickers 2 for Western cinema. Other than that, that's all I got going on lately. I might get to that Mad Monster party on Saturday. I don't know
nice.
I don't know if I'll be hosting the karaoke, so it's questionable.
All right. Well, we'll keep an eye out.
Yeah.
On Saturday, we will be heroes for just for one day. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Indeed. All right. As for myself, of course, I will be joining Bill for both the extra dose on Saturday and also Western Cinema on Sunday. I do also want to remind everyone that my show Coming Attractions, 11:30 p.m. Eastern, 10:30 Central, later on tonight. Followed on Sunday by my member stream, which is going to be at 7 p.m. Right after Western Cinema. So if you are a member of my channel, please join me there. If you're not, now is the time to join. All right. Kaiju Live does that's going to continue on Thursday and Saturday all this month. Got a number of films waiting down the pike. Not only do we have the 1998 Godzilla, we also have the 2014 MonsterVerse film. We also have Kong Skull Island, Godzilla versus Kong.
Yep.
We also have Godzilla versus the Space Monster from 1994, which honestly I don't think I've seen. So that might be a first watch for me. And also, and of course, also the 1976 King Kong with Jeff Bridges and Jessica Lange.
Yep.
So looking forward to that. Since that was technically my first King Kong film. So yeah. All right.
And you got to see Charles Gordon, a slimy
Charles
corporate
Grodin.
Charles Grodin in there.
Right on. All right. So I would like to thank everyone who is here in the chat, especially those of you with the super chats, which was Connie and Tim. Were the two that I saw. I do want to thank Connie, Tim, Words and Pictures, Curtis, Daniel Barry Sports Highlights, Angia Black, Lady Mist, John Doe Juggalo, Daniel's Hot Topics, who I didn't see come in. Sorry, I missed you. Enigma Severus, of course. All right, and I know that we did at one point have more than 50 people watching. There may have been more. So thank you to everyone who stopped by. Hope you enjoyed the show. You don't have to engage with the chat. Just as long as you had fun watching a movie along with us. And I do want to remind everybody that, of course, due to YouTube's copyright guidelines, we couldn't air the film live. You would have had to have joined us on live on Cosme, or you can also find this movie on Fandango at home. I believe also Amazon is at present where it's available for rent to buy digitally. So if you choose to do so that way, and of course, even better yet, having your own copy. You can sync up along with us. Think of this as a commentary track on a DVD, except for the part where I didn't have my audio on and just basically prattled on and no one could hear a word. So let's just skip that part of the movie. We won't talk about that. All right. Other than that, I hope that you all enjoyed the show. We were simulcasting, so please remember to hit the like on both channels, share out both streams, say hello in both comments. And if you are new to Bill's channel, especially in mine, Bill is on his way to. There was actually a milestone today that we haven't discussed. You hit 7,500 subs today.
Yeah, I think it was yesterday, but
right
close enough. Yeah,
close enough. Congratulations, man! This is
working away slowly but surely.
Indeed, this is the road to 8,000. So, if you are new to Bill's channel, please subscribe. Let's get him to 8,000 plus by the end of the year. And of course, go back to Bill's channel and check out his page. Go through the playlist and see the other films in this series. Because of course, Bill is the originator of this program. Yeah, and has episodes that go back for several years. So please, please go and check those episodes out. I don't show up until Silverado, so I'm the sidekick, comic relief, hopefully, and I do my little trivia bit at the end. But really, this is Bill's show, guys,
and I provide the entertainment. I provide the films.
This is
my own library.
Indeed, this is his show. From beginning to end, guys. So I I appreciate the thanks that I get and the views that I get, but honestly, this show is really, in the end, it's really all Bill, guys. So, all of the thanks go to him. This was, it's his world. I'm just visiting. And there you go.
Well, you are the co-host. Yeah. You remember? Yeah.
All right.
Hail FKHC 2005, sometimes known as Tim.
Right on. Cool.
With that in mind, I'd like to say my parting words for now. Always remember to be excellent to each other. Party on. We'll see you on the next one. Have a great rest of your day and evening, folks. Catch you all later. Okay, deleted.
All right. And as I always say at the end of every show, from HQ, second home office in Arizona, in all points north, south, east, west, and beyond, good night. Take care. Stay strong. Be safe and healthy. If you see a kaiju, run the other way. Unless, of course, you are in a Jaeger, in which case, onward and upward. Because this is how we win.